All right, that should be it. We should be on the air. Hello, and thank you all again for joining us here for this episode of This Week. I am absolutely, positively not Tom.
And I am absolutely, positively not Jesse. And tonight we start with our first big story. The Chevy scam. Oh my goodness. 200,000 miles or 5 years to death. And later, if we have time, we can get into the fistless hacks, cracks, jokes, and tokes. But let me tell you, this next one is coming up as a whopper.
I kid you not. I literally... what did I do? I drug you in today completely unprepared with untested technology and all kinds of crazy stuff that I'm about to do.
We're shooting from the hip.
Yeah. Oh, I literally do. I do absolutely have the Chevy scam. We're going to go over that, but I've also got some other cool stuff first that I wanted to go ahead and show you. So go ahead and hold off. But first, that's why we've got the Chevy logo and we've got This Week on it. Is because we're going to go over the Chevy BS. But first, we're going to go ahead and start with our usual. Dun, dun, dun. We don't go anywhere until we start the timer.
All right. Starts now.
Works for me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post something on screen here for just a second. I'm going to use this as kind of a filter in between doing it. All right. So, Jesse, what I've got here today is the new experimental technology with the camera. It should theoretically work, but we're going to have to be kind of side by side and, well, we're going to try it. We're going to see what happens.
All right.
So we're going to go ahead and test out the new experimental technology right now.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Well, there you have it.
Hey,
we
there
are
we are.
absolutely
Oh.
live. So what do you
no,
think,
we're live.
guys? Look at that. We actually have, for the first time ever,
Oh no.
look at it. It's our faces. Well, sort of.
Yeah, we're so handsome that to avoid too much popularity at one time, because we're still getting used to this, we just kind of want to ease it in there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, this is tanking my. Well, actually, it was a really expensive TV. There's not so much nowadays, but this is tanking my video card. But anyhow, check it out. Woo! There you have it, everybody.
Yeah.
There's our
We're live.
first live performance, and we'll be using this off and on. In case you've noticed, it's also kind of broken and not working very well, but it's
I think it's
good
working
enough.
great.
But yeah, this is exactly well.
Yeah, these are my glasses. Yeah, hey, there we go. Look, let's see.
All right.
Look, you can't see it.
We do got to get on with the episode here. So let me go ahead and let me pull up the stuff that I absolutely. Okay. All right. So right off the top, I did literally drag you in today. I do absolutely have an episode for us here. First things first, I want to start off by saying that I enjoy scams. I enjoy watching scams. I enjoy watching videos on scams. I enjoy, especially one of my favorite is CoffeeZilla. He's always calling people out, and it has gotten me to the point where I kind of want to call someone out and I want to call someone out too. By the way, you should also all know that I'm going off very little sleep because I've been working on this all night along with a ton of other stuff. So bear with me if I'm a little out there, but that's okay. And also, I am literally just throwing all this at Jesse right now. So none of this is just, he's just kind of got to go
I have no idea
along
what's
with
going
it.
on.
All right, so I'm calling out Chevrolet. And I am calling out Chevrolet because over the years I have noticed that Chevrolet has become a bit unreliable. In fact, I pulled up the recent Consumer Reports, and Chevy is down on the list. In fact, some of the worst vehicles on the list more recently were the Chevy Silverado and the GMC Sierra. Anyway, they are dropping like a rock. And I want to go ahead and tell you why you shouldn't own... Oh, hold on. I bumped the microphone. I should tell you why... Or I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't own a Chevy. In fact, there's a lot of better cars to own out there. But let me tell you why you shouldn't own a Chevy. And I'll let you go to the Consumer Reports list to find out why you should go over there and why you should do that. Anyhow, Oh, that's going to keep getting in my way. But don't worry, as I said, hodgepodge. But all right. So here's what we got to start out with here. When you think of Chevy, you might be thinking of the old-fashioned car. They have in the past been reliable off and on. They've not been high on the list as some of the other cars and stuff like that. But it's okay. More recently, I actually saw a Dodge on that list. But right now on the top of the list is Mazda and Toyota. That said, Chevy's been dropping on the list, and I actually do, and I have some experience on this. I actually do currently own a Chevy. It has 38,000 miles in it, and it is not going to last more than 200,000 miles or 5 years. Honestly, it's just going to start breaking right away. In fact, actually, this is closer to the year that I have. These are the newer ones coming out. By the way, they do look really, really good.
That does look clean, though.
Yeah, they're good-looking cars. They really, really are. But they also have a really, really big problem. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you the story about Benjamin. Now, Benjamin isn't honestly his real name. Uh-oh. Our timer seems to have...
Whoa, what?
Oh, no, wait.
There it is.
There it goes. Uh-oh. Well, we are processing a lot of stuff right now, and yeah, we're just gonna hope that kind of keeps going there. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you a story about Benjamin. Now, Benjamin, him and his brothers have been friends of mine for quite a while. That kind of should give you an idea of who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
He's the oldest of the brothers, and more recently he bought a 2009 Chevy Silverado off of my brother-in-law, and then now it's a 2009. It is a much older one. I know this is older than the 5 years I'm claiming, but it basically suffered exactly the same problem that I am basically trying to hammer in the point. And basically, he took this thing, he took it out on a dirt road, and I wish I had a picture of this. I don't currently have a picture of it, but I do have a picture of what his model kind of looks like. He actually has one that looks like this. That's the 2009 Chevy Silverado. He got it from my brother-in-law.
Oh, does it come with snow on the tires?
No, it absolutely doesn't. In fact, in the real version of the story, that's dirt, not snow. That doesn't have any of those modifications, except for maybe the tires. He probably did the tires and stuff like that.
Oh, I know.
And basically everything on the entire front end of this truck is hanging off of it.
What? He just drove it down?
He drove it down a dirt road. He drove it down a dirt road, and literally, by the time he got to the end of the dirt road, everything was just falling off the front. Everything was hanging off by wires and stuff like that. And of course, now, okay, we live in Arizona. We make no secret of this. We're in Arizona. We have some pretty crazy heavy-duty climates and temperatures and stuff like that.
Yes, we're in southwestern Arizona. We're in the hot part of Arizona, not Flagstaff where it's nice.
Yeah.
We're talking triple digits.
Yeah, 122 degrees in some of the hottest parts of summer. So yes, it does get miserably hot here, and it does get really, really bad. But this still is an inherent problem. And what I'm going to tell you right now is there is a reason why these cars are garbage when they hit 200,000 miles, 5 years, 7 years. It's because they're plastic. They're all plastic. They're plastic. They're plastic. They're the stuff that's blowing up the ocean. They literally everything that broke on that 2009 Chevy, except for the engine. The engine still miraculously works. It's actually got a diesel engine, and it's got like a Hemi and some. It's actually a pretty decent engine, but everything else broken. And the reason that, oh my gosh, my previous Chevy and this Chevy are going to break far sooner than that thing, the inside engine of that thing, not the outside of it, which did fall apart completely after a dirt road, is because the inside of these engines are all plastic on Chevy. They are plastic. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you something. This right here is, and by the way, ignore the mess inside of the engine, because yes, I know it's a really, really dirty engine.
No, this is how they come stock.
This is Arizona.
This is how they come
if
stock.
you take a look hold on just a second. I'm gonna do a quick reset here. We're gonna go over. I'm gonna tap our timer to find out where our timer's at. Okay, good. We're gonna go back here, and if you look at this, it's all plastic. There's plastic everywhere inside of this engine, and this car is gonna be done in 5 years, 200,000 miles, even probably, right about at that point by my estimates. Hold on. All right. It's going to break at 200,000 miles, 5 years, a little bit longer if it's better taken care of. Like that 2009 Chevy Silverado, it's pretty well taken care of. But, same thing, the plastics, they break over time. Oh my God, yeah, the same thing that's filling the oceans and stuff like that. By the way, all of this, same thing, I'm just throwing this on Jesse real quick. This is why you should not own a newer Chevy. There are better cars out there. They're not putting plastics in the engine quite like Chevy is. I got to give credit to Chevy because that's the truth about it is you got to take the good with the bad, and they have incredibly good entertainment systems. But the plastic in this engine is just everywhere,
awful.
And it snaps off. It breaks. My previous Chevy, it was a Chevy Equinox. I think it was a 2012. Let's see, what was it? I was doing something. I was like checking the oil or something like that, and I put my hand on something, and it literally just broke right off. I had to order a new one from eBay, which, by the way, took me forever because I'm not engine savvy. And this is just absolutely, completely horrible.
And Chevys used to be good. They used to be good. I had an 83 Caprice and a 97 Chevy 2500. They actually used to make their cars durable, and then it's like, what happened?
Well, that's just it. The metal never seems to break. Well, actually, they've got these. The Silverado I had these little metal clips that did start to wear out over time, and those were kind of a problem. But I tell you right now, if you're in the market for a car, if you're looking for a car that's going to last on, now if you don't care, if you're going to burn this car out in 5 years or whatever,
go for
or 200,000 miles. By the way, I am on track to burn this thing out in 5 years, 200,000 miles. So I might actually be okay. But if you are going for a car and you want it to last any length of time, you are not going to go with the Chevy.
Go with a foreign car.
So this is me right now calling Chevy out, saying your cars are not, they're garbage after 5 years. They're not worth. You'll have to, if you want to keep it running, you've got to replace everything in between. Actually, some of the engine work is still not too bad. If I could have saved that previous car. By the way, I'm about to get into the second problem with Chevy, which is, by the way, their service departments. Yes, in fact, I'm actually going to call out one service department specifically.
These guys are awful. They're the worst.
Yeah, actually, I want to call out the one in Casa Grande too, because they're just as bad, and they pretty much screwed me. I could have saved my last car if. Well, I guess I better get into it, because if I sit here and draw this out any longer, we're going to run out of time. Let me go ahead and do a quick jump over and see where we're at. Okay, let me go ahead and do the quick and dirty version of the Equinox. Okay, so I had an Equinox. It was getting up there in miles. I really, really did love the car, but it's the first time I'd had a Chevy, and it was, of course, an older Chevy. It was higher up in miles. It was later in its years and stuff like that. Basically, it broke down previously. I actually took it to the dealership, and they charged me a $165 diagnostic fee. Now, they did inevitably end up fixing it, and they gave me a list of everything that was wrong with it. But what they didn't tell me was that the timing chain was in need of replacement, which, by the way, that was not on their list of things that needed to be done. On their $165 things that needed to be done inspection.
Yeah, so they totally missed
so
that.
I drove it away. 3 weeks later, I didn't know this. This took me. In fact, I took it back over there. They charged me another $165. Told me they couldn't tell me what was wrong with the engine unless I spent another $2,500. And the truth is, three weeks earlier when I had it there the first time, because there was another part that had to be replaced. It was something on the shifter that allowed it to shift. It was an automatic, and they had to replace it because it does get old over time. And they didn't tell me about the timing chain. It jumped timing 3 weeks later. I paid the $165. They said they wanted $2,500 to properly diagnose it. And basically, I will spare it from you. I ended up taking it to somebody else. It got repaired. It got sold because I ended up getting a new vehicle. If they had told me 3 weeks earlier when they charged me the $165, I could have saved the car. I'd probably still be driving it today. Quite possibly. That's a real if scenario. But they charged me $165 3 weeks ago. Didn't tell me about the problem. Charged me $165 to tell me they had to charge me $2,500 to find out what was wrong, and then inevitably I just ended up taking it away, and it did jump timing. It was absolutely their fault. I think I spent $600 on that car just to have it diagnosed, without having a hand put in to fix it, just to have it diagnosed. By the way, that was timing chain. I understand that isn't plastics and stuff like that, but those were kind of breaking off of it too. By the way, I should also add, for anybody out there who has a Chevy, another really, really good thing to replace at 200,000 miles is the timing chain. That is what inevitably took out the rest of the engine. I had been replacing everything else inside of it in the meantime, and had actually been maintaining it and doing brakes and other stuff and keeping it up. I could have saved it, but the Chevy dealership in Casa Grande, Jerry Seiner, or Seiner, Seiner. Seiner, yeah. They basically did one over on me. They basically were the reason that car went, and I hold it to them to this day. I could have saved it. They didn't. I've got all the paperwork backing this up if anybody ever wants to call me out on it. Number 2, my new car, 36,000 miles. The the Freeway Chevy dealership. I brought it in for 3 things under warranty. None of them got fixed. They charged me $165. By the way, I understand how warranties work and stuff like that. But there was actually something that they had to order a part for. They were going to call me for it later. They have not called me back. They charged me $165 to fiddle around with the stereo. And another problem they refused to fix. There is actually a problem with the engine that's my fault, and I did verify that. But they still charged me $165. They couldn't verify the stereo, but there was a broken part that they had to order, and they still charged me the $165. So I honestly, every time you take those in, warranty or not, it's probably just going to end up being $165. You should probably just concede on that one. The dealerships are garbage.
And this dealership also put the screws on my parents pretty hard and tried to rip them off. Our mother actually went and bought a brand new Chevy Equinox with all the bells and whistles for like $30,000. And my mom wanted certain features because she's getting up there in years. And they went and they didn't put everything they were supposed to in the car. And they tried to fight my dad on it, but my dad got so upset he just went down there and drove the car all the way down to the dealership.
Oh yeah, he was pissed.
Dropped it off and made him fix it. Yeah, he was extremely
that
pissed.
was bad. So honestly, we are, funny story. We're a Chevy family. Did you know that we get my parents? I don't know if it carries down to us, but my parents actually have a discount because our grandparents actually worked for Chevy, and they get the employee discount. In fact, we actually are kind of a Chevy family. You know what I've learned about Chevys from being a Chevy family?
They suck.
They're garbage. You know what? I've seen Dodge higher up. I'm sorry, I cut you off on that one.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I've seen Dodge higher on the list. I've seen Ford higher on the list. By the way, Ford's tech, it's getting better, but it's not as great as Chevy. But Dodge, I've watched Dodge do, like, the Dodge cars have just been shooting up on those lists. Same thing, Mazda and Toyota are still on the top there. But I have seen so many better options and so many better things. I'm sticking with it. Chevy is just
Yeah, and this
Garbage.
freeway Chevy dealership, not only did they try to put
Yeah,
the screws
the
on my
dealerships,
parents.
the dealerships are just horrible. The vehicles, plastic, garbage.
And at the same time, yeah, our parents were going to spend $30,000 at their dealership, and they wouldn't even give you the $50 gift card for you to go test drive a car. Like they said, they'd give you a $50 gift card if you test drive a car. They didn't give you that. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. You were going to skip over that? Are you kidding?
I remember that. The other Chevy dealership, that was about the time that they were doing that. I went with them. And they went to go get a $50 gift card for doing a test drive. And then I went over there like, oh, I'll go get a $50 gift card. I'll do a test drive. They screwed me out of the $50 one because they said, well, I won't say why they said it. But basically it was like this family unit thing and they couldn't do it. And I felt absolutely betrayed. I went on. And that was the other Chevy dealership over on what was it, Country Club in Mesa, I think, approximately.
In Chandler, wasn't it?
And they gave them a $50 gift card. They wouldn't give it to me because we were like a family unit sort of thing or something like that.
Well, my parents are spending $30,000 on a car.
And then I wrote a bad review about it. And they coerced my parents to contact me to tell me to remove the review, which, by the way, I conceded. I went ahead and I removed the review. And oh my gosh, they wouldn't give me the $50 gift card. They made it BS. I filed a complaint. They strong-armed me through my parents. Wow, I have no good experiences from Chevy.
Down with Chevy.
Man, what a garbage car company. Wait, how far am I allowed to? You know what? No, my experience says that I can say this, and it's okay, because I know there's like slander laws and stuff like that, but these are garbage cars.
They're slime.
These are garbage dealerships. These are garbage service departments. These are just garbage across. Yeah, so I'm calling them out. I'm telling you, Chevys are piles of crap. Don't go near them. I'm calling them a scam right here, right now.
Confirmed.
I'm going to put them up there. They literally, I hope that if nothing else, this will coerce you not to buy a Chevy Chevrolet. I'm not going to buy, I will not touch another Chevrolet.
Especially these dealerships in southern Arizona. I've just seen them. I've seen them screw my parents. I've seen them screw my brother Tom.
And these are good looking cars. They really are. They look good. Their entertainment consoles are incredible. They work great. But they are garbage on the inside. They're
like Lindsay Lohan. They still look good, but they're kind of,
I don't know if you can do that. I mean, I guess you can do that. Well, okay, you do that. By the way, we should probably add, these are our opinions from our personal experiences and stuff like that. And okay, all right.
That's good. That's
hold on. No, well, hold on. All right, we need to jump off just a little bit. I have a little bit of side news that I want to go ahead and throw in here. Jesse here has actually been looking for an alternate gaming console to get here. And I wanted to share with you that the Steam Deck was released this week. Sorry, I don't have any pictures or anything up here at the moment because honestly, it took me everything to get my Chevy ramp put together. But I wanted to let you know the Steam Deck is out. No, you can't get it because they've got like 1 million pre-orders and they've got to get through those before everybody else can get them, and there's a chip shortage. And well, I'm not going to get into the other politics stuff going on this week.
The one thing that should get you excited about it, this is a new like next gen console.
Yeah,
it's
beautiful. Okay, so they've got a $399 version with 64 gigs of storage. They've got a $529 version with 256 gigabytes of storage, and they've got a $649 version with 512 gigabytes of storage. I don't know if it's upgradable. I didn't watch the videos yet, but I understand you can put an SD card in there with your library and stuff. So there is a huge amount of upgradability options. This thing is gorgeous. It's got a 4-core, 8-thread Zen 2 processor with AMD RDNA 2 and an 8 GPU compute units. Basically, this thing is a full-fledged gaming CPU with a full-fledged gaming GPU. I saw 3 of these GPUs.
16 gigs of RAM?
Yeah, do you remember those Acer Aspires that we had?
Yeah.
Those had 3 of the RDNA GPU compute units. Those things with memory behind them. fly. So this thing is a gaming laptop in a handheld. I'd like to see some stuff where you can connect it to a screen and do some bigger and better stuff. Like, this really has the capability to be a gaming laptop for, oh my gosh, $400. It really is an impressive piece of technology. Once again, no, you can't get it.
The graphics are clean, though.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely gorgeous. I've been watching the take apart things and other stuff on it. It is absolutely incredible. 7-inch screen, SD card. It's got a bunch of stuff. It's got USB Type-C, so it should support USB hub, docking station. It's got DisplayPort. It's got a bunch of other stuff. I highly recommend that you go on and you do a little bit of research on it. It's next gen. It's really awesome. It's a gaming computer in the palm of your hand. I'm sure somebody's going to put Windows on it soon and probably do some of that stuff. That's probably going to be pretty cool, but I highly recommend that.
So
for your use case, I don't know if I recommend it, Jesse. But
quick question on that, Tom. The graphics? Would you say, is it safe to say it outperforms the DS Lite?
Yeah.
I mean the Switch Lite.
There are tech people out there who are like laughing. No, the Switch. Yeah, this thing beats the living trash out of it. This thing. This thing's a gaming laptop.
So would you call it a generation above the Switch Lite?
It's generations above the Switch.
Oh.
The technology in the Switch, it uses an NVIDIA Tegra GPU, which for anybody who doesn't know is like a 2010, 2012 thing. It's like 14-year-old technology at this point.
Oh.
Well, that's why all the Pokemon games got all those regular, just kind of low whatever graphics and stuff like that. By the way, I'm not the only one who's taking cheap shots at Nintendo.
I'm behind in my console, so to me, I keep thinking of a DS as new.
Hey, there are other people making fun of Nintendo about this too. I'm not the only one. In fact, this thing theoretically, and once again, you got to kind of, your own mileage may vary. In theory, I could put an emulator on this thing and play Nintendo Switch games on it.
Steam has a lot of emulated games from other past consoles that it does actually, like, Steam is really good at formatting their earlier emulated games from old consoles onto Steam. So I can imagine it'd be real easy, like these games are going to be sweet.
Yeah,
with the customization of the controls.
The power of a laptop in the palm of your hand. I'm going to keep an eye on this. It's really awesome. I agree with a lot of the other people out there. I think this thing is great. We're going to go ahead and we're going to keep an eye on that. I took Jesse out before he could get anything together on our entertainment stuff, like TV shows, movies, and everything else. I promise I will give you a chance next week, but do you have anything you want to throw in the last couple of minutes while we have the last of our show here?
I would say, okay, I just want to say something about Peacemaker. Peacemaker Season 1 it's the best superhero show out right now, IMO. And okay, look, I've seen The Boys, and I've seen the Marvel stuff, and I think some of the Marvel stuff out now is good. But Peacemaker takes it, they're like, all right, let's just make it like Deadpool rated R and just run it home. And it works great. There's some gore, but not too much. And there's actually a story behind it. Like, the show actually makes you care about, because before the Peacemaker show, I'm like, who the heck is Peacemaker? I don't care about him. But it actually makes you care about this guy. Like, I love it. It's wonderful. I hope to see more of it. I'm so glad that Marvel fired James Gunn so that he could come make this show for DC.
Okay.
Because they needed it.
As I'm looking at it real quick, it looks like episode 8 is the end of season 1, it looks like. So we're not going to see anything more from that right now. We will keep you updated on the latest and greatest as that becomes available.
But watch Peacemaker.
We didn't get a chance. I wanted to watch the trailer with Uncharted with you before we started it, but same thing, we got on pretty quick, so I didn't get a chance. But we'll go ahead and do that. Uncharted is number 1 right now